right, welcome back, fifth graders. Today we are talking about topic 16 once more. We're working on our shapes. Today we are working on classifying quadrilaterals again, and we are going to fill out the property table that I loaded for you to fill out. So we're going to do it now, but you're going to need to turn that in. Okay, so if we jump to lesson 3, again, we're talking about how we can classify triangles and quadrilaterals, how we describe them, how we classify them, how we name them. I can classify quadrilaterals using a hierarchy, meaning that if you remember yesterday, we looked at a diagram with a bunch of circles and how they fit in, how some were a part of a few different things, like a square is a quadrilateral, it's a parallelogram, it's a rectangle, it's a rhombus, and it's a square. So that's what a hierarchy means. It means it's like a pyramid. It's fitting in different categories. Okay? All right, so a quadrilateral may be called by many names, and we just went through that. For instance, this is our rectangle. This is our rectangle, and it can be called a quadrilateral. It's a parallelogram, and it's a rectangle. So it has many different names. So we classify quadrilaterals by the number of opposite sides that are parallel. So we need to look at how many sides are parallel, how many sets. We're going to fill that in our chart in just a minute. We're going to look at the number of opposite sides that have equal length. Okay, so for instance, in our rectangle, the opposite sides are equal length. And we're going to look at the number of right angles. So those are the different things we're going to look at as we take a look at today's lesson. All right, so we are going to look at this worksheet. You do need to fill this out, and you will need to turn this in to me. It is a document that you will be able to edit right on the computer. Okay, so you don't have to worry about how to get it to me. All right, so we're going to look at this right now. Give me a second. I've got to change screens. Okay, so for instance, a triangle, we're going to just draw the picture in. Okay, there's a triangle. Nothing fancy. It has tri, so that means how many sides does it have? That's correct. It has 3 sides. How many angles does it have? It also has 3 because all 3 of these add up to 180 degrees. Are there any parallel lines? No, there aren't, because there's nothing that's not intersecting each other. So I'm going to write no, and I'm not very good at this, and my stylus has not shown up yet. So. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is our parallelogram. So a parallelogram must have 2 sets of parallel sides. That's somewhat parallel. That's a little iffy, but anyway. How many sides does a parallelogram have? Okay, yes, it does have 4 because it's also a quadrilateral. How many angles does a parallelogram have? It also has 4. Good. How many sets of parallel lines do we have? Yes, we have 2 sets of parallel lines. Oops, that one wasn't good. Let's try that again. There we go. It has 2 sets of parallel lines because to be parallel, you have to be talking about 2 different lines at the same time. Okay? All right, let's see if we can draw a trapezoid. Oh, that's not good. Let me try that again. I gotta get... This is very hard. There we go. That's a trapezoid. Okay? How many sides does our trapezoid have? Yep, it has 4 because it is also a quadrilateral. How many angles does our trapezoid have? Good. Again, we have 4 angles because it is part of the quadrilateral, has 4 sides, so we put it together, we have 4 angles. How many sets of parallel lines do we have? Now be careful. We haven't done a lot with this one. This is the tricky one. Good. We only have one set of parallel lines. And you can see those on the top. Let me see if I can highlight it. The top and the bottom. Okay? The sides are not parallel. Okay? All right, how about a rectangle? So let's see if I can draw a somewhat decent rectangle. All right, that's pretty good. Again, how many sides does this have? Yes, it has 4. How many angles does it have? 4. What is special about the angles in a rectangle? Good, it has 2 90-degree angles. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this because that's very important. There are 4 right angles. Okay, so very important there. Actually, let's color him in because that's important. Okay. All right, now how many sets of parallel lines are there? Good, there are 2. There's only 2 sets because we have a, let's see here, a top line and a bottom line. That's one set, and then the sides, one and another one. Okay? All right, next we have our square. So let's go ahead and draw our square. When you're doing this, oh, that's not good. You can actually use the shapes they've already drawn up for you so that yours look better than mine, hopefully. All right, so this is kind of a square. Again, how many sides does it have? Good, it has 4. How many angles does it have? Right, it has 4. Okay, and the angles, what are they? Good, they are all 90-degree angles. Okay, so it's similar to the rectangle. Now, a square is also important because it has equal sides. All 4 of those are equal. Okay? Now, a square, how many sets of parallel lines do we have? Good, we have 2 sets of parallel lines. All right, and our rhombus. Now, a rhombus can look many different ways. So we are going to answer it. Oh, that's really bad. Okay, anyway, that's going to have to work. We're going to answer it as best as we can. How many sides does a rhombus have? Good, it does have 4 sides. How many angles does the rhombus have? Good, again, it has the 4 angles. How many parallel lines does it have? Good, it has 2 sets. All right. Sometimes our square will be also a rhombus. Sometimes our rectangle would also be a square. But it depends on what the measure of the sides are. Okay, so you're going to need to do this on your own and turn that in to me. And that is due, I believe, on Monday. Okay. All right. You saw this yesterday, and we're going to look at it one more time. So with our quadrilaterals, which is up here, we have parallelograms. So every quadrilateral is either a trapezoid or a parallelogram. The trapezoids do not go in with the parallelograms, okay? Now, under the parallelograms, inside of that group, we have rectangles, rhombus, and a square. All those are parallelograms. And as we talked about, our rectangle has 2 parallel sides, 4 90-degree angles, but the sides are not equal. Where a square has parallel lines, 2 sets, it has the sides that are all equal, and the angles are 90 degrees. Our rhombus has 4 sides. They are 2 sets of parallel, but the angles are not all 90 degrees. Okay, the sides are equal though. The biggest thing here is to realize that your quadrilaterals, you have either a trapezoid or parallelogram. The trapezoid does not belong to the parallelogram because it does not have two sets of parallel lines. Okay? All right, it is time to practice. I have loaded assignment 16-3 onto the Google Classroom. Okay? When you do that, you will notice it says assignment and you have a form. So you're going to click on the assignment form and you are going to write your answers there. When you get done, you're going to hit submit. Okay? Yes, these are all based on your book. So you're going to want to turn to page 639 and 640 in your book. And then this is set A number 1, set A number 2, set A number 3. But this way you only have to type your answers and you don't have to figure out how to submit your work to me. Okay? Tomorrow, which is Thursday the 26th, we are at 10 a.m. I would love for you all to meet me in our Zoom meeting so that we can go over some rules for online. And also make sure that we're all on the same page how to find things. Our next online, well, every day at 10 a.m. I will be here, but the next one that you need to put on your calendar is March 31st at 10 a.m. I want you all to be in the Zoom meetup area so that we can go over our stuff for the test, which is April 1st. Okay? If you have any questions, you can email me. There's also a way to send me messages privately on our Google Classroom, but I'm not sure how to do that, so maybe you can find it. And I think that's about it. All right, so I will see you later. Have a great day. Bye.